Hello and welcome to part 2 of EML series. In today's session, we will look into few of the EML statements and understand the first EML statement, that is read. Okay. What EML are? EML is entity manipulation language, shortly called as EML, is a part of ABAP language, so that now you can use EML along with your ABAP uh, coding as well. What EML allows is to interact with any of the business object by triggering the operations for specified entities of the business object. The operations can only be triggered if the operation is specified in the behavior definition of the relevant entity when we are trying to create the behavior pool. Okay. EML provides the functionality to the BO, that means such as create, update, deleting an entity, uh, uh, setting some statuses of the entity, copying one instance of the business entity into another. Those kind of things will be done using the EML. Okay. EML, if you are using it in uh, a, a report or a class, you can actually use the cross BO applications as well. You can call the behavior or the operations from one BO into another BO. Okay, few of the read statements that we heavily use is read by association, modify, that will have all the uh, create, update, and delete operations. Uh, we have commit and rollback entities. We have get permissions. We have set logs. Those kind of entity manipulation language statements are there. We will look into few of them in this series, not everything. Uh, we will try to cover all the EML statements that are commonly used. And the first one in the list, which is commonly used, is the read and read by association. So let us see how read works. Now, the read statement is the syntax of read statement is like this that I've shown here. A read statement allows us to read the data of the entity instance that we want to read, that uh, the key fields are actually passed using the keys that we see here. Okay. uh, and it will give the result back. Now most of the EML statements will return the common response parameter, which is the failed and the reported. Okay. A result it will have in some of the EML statement. In some of the EML statement it is not applicable, but failed and reported, 95% of the time you will get the failed and the reported um, structure back. These parameters will actually give us the in case of error, it will fill the failed with the keys of the failed records, and corresponding error messages will be filled in the reported structure. Okay. Read statement is allows only reading. It will not allow us to do any changes to any of the field values. Okay, so it's just a read only access that we can do. It allows it has two flavors, read entities and read entity both. Okay. We can define the fields that we need to read by giving the fields, the list of fields in the field section, uh, and width will always give the keys that you want to actually read the data for. Okay, let's move on and see the syntax of read statement. A read statement can be utilized in three ways: short form, long form, and dynamic form. Majorly short and long form is used, and that too the long form is very commonly used uh, syntax of read statement. Now what short form does it? It will allow you to read an entity, the entity name, from the value that you have to pass. Now in this case you have to pass the key value that you have to read the data for, and the the field names will be used using the uh, control statement with the field list that you have to make mark it using the this particular interface marker as on. That means in this particular scenario you are saying that okay, please read the uh, please read the entity, contact entity. This entity is EMSI contact M, where the key field of the contact ID is the key field that I have given here, and please read first name, last name, email and active fields from that particular entity. Okay, this is a short way of doing it. Now the long form uh, is again the read entities of. Now what it will allow us is to actually read multiple entities in one go. Okay, in this case we can say okay, read entities of this behavior definition. Okay, now this is not an entity, this is a behavior definition. Entity name, how many fields you want to read. All fields means you are trying to say read all the fields. If you are passing the fields, then you have to pass the control as well with the value of the contact ID that you have to read. It will give the result data in our result internal table that we are passing here. And you can also read the contact, and this is for by association, we'll see it later. But you can also read one more entity called, say for example, um, contact and student or something. Okay, if you have the same entity in the same behavior definition. Okay, and the final part is the dynamic part. In dynamic part, what happens is we, instead of passing each and every entity line by line, we create a internal table and pass that internal table in operations as a operation table and get the response back. Now how the operation table can be defined is that okay, we in this case you see here we are saying that that the uh, read statement, if you see, it says that okay, operation is read and read by association, both ways it is feasible. So if you can see, the operation is read here, that is also defined in the interface as a static uh, variable, a static constant that we can actually use. So in the operations we have read, in the read we have read and read by association BA. So in this case, you, for the read one, you have to give the entity that you want to read. Instance and result will be defining the instances, means the key fields of the instances that you are defining. This read dynamic will have all the key values that we are passing. It's an internal table. Similarly, read then result is also an internal table that we are passing to the result result interface here. Both will be passed using a reference field. Similarly, for read by association, same thing, except the subname where the association has to be defined. Full is equal to abap true will give all the fields there. Again, instances and result will be passed as a reference. In case of associations, we also get the links back. We will see that going ahead, and the link will be again passed as a dynamic. Majorly used are the is the long form of the read entity. Okay, similarly, now let's see the read by association. Read by association is again the same way. We say that okay, read contact by address, and address is an association to contact with the contact value there. We will get the result and the link data back. Now result will have the data, and link will have the linkage between uh, the the contact and the address. I have seen the output of the result that we are getting back. So read by association, the LT address RBA, this one will give me all the addresses for this particular contact ID, and the linkage has the source as the one which I have passed here. You see EB2E, EB2E, for which it has actually read this B6C1 as the address here that has been shown here. So linkage will always have the primary keys of source and the target in the link field. Okay. Uh, if you don't need the values that you want to use somewhere, you can at least get the result in the result data and then go ahead with your uh, data in the address RBA table. Okay, with that, let us see how we can actually implement this in our system. Okay, so now I am in Eclipse, where I have shown you in my last uh, session that I have actually created one uh, transactional app for contact and uh, address. Okay, we can actually go and see the preview of that particular application. I have enhanced a bit from the last session to this session. Okay, this is a complete transactional app where you can go search the data based on the global search field. Okay, in the first name, middle name, last name. Okay, you can go and search all the fields, all the records there. You can create a contact, you can copy a contact, you can set the status as active, inactive. So this copy and create contact are the factory actions that I have created. We will see these all these functionalities in my next series. Let's go on to our Eclipse now and see how we can actually do the read by uh, association. Now, I don't want to go and actually show you all the coding that I have done. Rather, what we will do is we can actually uh, create a temporary class where we can actually uh, practice all our EML statements. Okay, uh, similar to what we have a standard SE38 report, you can create a class in case when you want to actually when you are actually connected to BTP. In this case, since I am actually connecting myself to BTP, I have not connected to the on-prem. I will be using another way of testing my application or my code by creating a class. How we do it is you go there, right click on a class and you say new ABAP class, as you can see here. Okay, and then uh, you create one class. I am say okay ZCMSCL EML practice, for example. Okay, so give some description, and then you have to add an interface, and that interface is if underscore oo underscore adt class run. Okay, this is the interface that you have to run. Move on to next. Give the give the tr number, next, and finish. Okay, what it will do is it will create a class that will have an interface attached to it uh, called OADT run, and this interface has the method main that we need to implement. Now what will happen is this main will be executed when this class is executed. Let me put a write statement here, out.write, where we just give okay inside main. Okay, what it will do is in this case you can just activate control F3 activate. Okay, and to execute a such class you have to be in the class and you say run as ABAP application console. You can press F9 or you can directly click here and it will open a window for you with ABAP console you select, and what it will do is it will show you the console whatever we have written here, you see. So we will be using these uh, class to actually practice our all the EML statements going ahead. I have parallelly also created a EML statement. I don't want to go and write everything for you, but for the first time I will just do it manually so that you know how you can actually do it. Now the read statement, as we have seen, is it says read entities of, you see, entities of ZMS underscore I underscore contact, and my contact M control and space will give you the uh, pop-up help, context help. You can actually select it from there. This is nothing but the behavior definition, and you can see the behavior definition in our core data service that we have created. So behavior definition, I have ZMS contact I, I underscore contact M. If I open the behavior definition, you see this is the behavior definition. It's using the behavior definition language BDL, which will actually have the behavior created for each and every entity in that behavior definition. In this case, we have two entities. One is contact, which will have the data stored in our ZMS contact M table. Going down, it also has the address, and that will be stored in this table CONT address M, and it is actually dependent on the contact as the association. You can see the association is defined as association to address. The contact is related to address using this association tag of PDL language. We will look into all these things going ahead, but I just wanted to show you that okay, I have actually created a determination called calculate age that will calculate the age when I'm actually trying to modify or create the date of birth field. Okay. Similarly, there are other factory actions and stuff like that. I have a set instance also as an action that we will see in our execute EML statement with modify going ahead. Now, what I have to do here is that, okay, read the entities of the behavior definition. Now, what is the entity that I have to read? And the entity, I can press control space and it will give me all the entity name as a context help. I wanted to read the contact entity of this particular behavior definition. Okay, it is also showing me that okay, it has calculate age as a determination. It also has an action. These many actions are there. Okay, this is the standard operation read update delete it has. Okay, so I just wanted to read the quantity. Okay, I am saying how, what fields and what are the fields that I want to read. Now I want to read the fields, and my field names are, I will say please read the first name, okay, and my middle name and last name. Okay, these are the three fields that I have to read with, okay, corresponding keys. In this case, okay, I don't have keys here, so I will say with value, and I will pass the value in a hash table using the hash value here. Okay, what I have to pass here is I have to pass percentage uh, key. Okay, transaction key is equal to, if I go and create a percentage key, it has a contact ID. Okay, and this contact ID I should pass something like this. What I have to pass, so in this case I have actually opened that ZMS I contact my entity, root view entity. I just go open with, right click open with, and I say data preview. It will show me the data there. Okay, and now okay, let me take any of the data. Okay, right click, copy and copy cell. I just come back here and I say, okay, please read that and give me back the data in my result as data, that is the inland declaration. Okay, result, um, read, and I'm saying, okay, if it is failed, please give me the data in failed failed table. Again, I am defining it internally. Okay, if I'm saying if failed, if my LT failed record table is not initial, that means it is there is some error. Okay, and I will say, okay, out dash right, wherein I will say, okay, write down something called error occurred. Okay, error occurred, and if it is successful, we say that, okay, please display my result that I have read. Okay, this is how you can define. You can press shift F1 for formatting, control F3 for activating, and execute this. Now before executing, you can always go and clear by right clicking the console, right click and clear. It will clear the things. Come back here, run it as F9 as application console. Okay, and you see it is actually showing me the date, the result that has been shown here, no error. But if you see, I have just mentioned first name, middle name, last name. It is just showing me first name, middle name, last name. No other values are read. If I give here, instead of field and field values, if I give here all fields, okay, with the values there, activate and execute as console. Since I'm not clearing, I just wanted to show you that, okay, in this case, next time it has actually read everything that I have maintained in the record. Okay, this is how the read will work. Now I will not go and write each and every statement for you. Rather, we will go and start doing this in the already created class, okay, for myself. Okay, now if you see here, the one which I have shown you, that you can actually give the field list. You can give the field list without the fields by giving the control. You can give the field list with the all fields there, or the field names that we have seen there. Okay, with the long form, you can say all fields with two values. Now this is something that we have to see, look into. Okay, control, uh, let me uncomment this and let us see what we have here. So I will just go and see my, I don't need this, also see my value there. Okay, I want to read this. Let me copy this cell again and come back here and I say, okay, please read this for uh, these two entities. One is contact and the second is the address. Contact by I will explain you later when I go into the read by association. Okay, now this is the long form. If I am getting the value, I am just passing it back. If not, I will say uh, out.write and I will say error occurred. Okay, something like this I will say. Let's shift F1, control F3 to uh, activate and then execute it. Now let's this time let me clear it and show you the read, and you see it has actually read the contact address. Okay, let me just move this a bit up and you can see that it has first read the contact detail and then it has read the address detail. So for this particular record contact, I had maintained two addresses here, and those two addresses are shown to me. Okay, so this is the long form of where you can actually go and read multiple uh, values at the same time. Okay, now let us see how read by association works. As you have seen here, the read by association you can use with the full form, as well as you can actually do a read by association only for that particular table, in this case the address table. Okay, where you can actually go and just take one of the value there. Okay, and the second value as the second entity. So I am actually reading addresses for two contacts with these two key fields that I am passing. Let me clear it, activate and execute this. Okay, what it will show me is, as you can see, it has now shown me that okay, for the contact ID E8, which is the second one, I have the two addresses that are there. These are the two addresses. Okay, and the second contact, it has three addresses maintained there. Okay, street 34. These are the three values that you can see here. Okay, which I am highlighting. So you can actually read the associated entries for multiple key values in one go as well. Okay, I'm just passing the out that right to just display the value. I am also displaying the linked record. So if you see the linked record, the source for AE8, we have two contact IDs, two address IDs. One is this and the second one is this. Similarly, the for the second one it has three, 1 2 3. Okay, this is how read and read by association works. Okay, so I will just stop the video here, and in the next session we will continue with our uh, new the next EML statement, and that is modify. With that, thank you and happy learning.